Hey guys, Jacob from Delta Logic here, and today in this video I want to share one of our lessons from the Amazon SP API course. And this is the lesson about the catalog items API. So we'll go through the catalog items API. We'll actually code some nice scripts with various examples of getting the items from the catalog. And of course, if you're interested in the full course, the link is in the description. You can also go to the courses.deltalogic.com to get the full course. Enjoy. Catalog items API. This is the first section of our module number 3, where we will be going into catalog items API and all of the details about it. So yeah, let's maybe jump to the overview. Catalog items API. So this API provides programmatic access to information about items in the Amazon catalog. So pretty much everything you see about the items you can retrieve from the Amazon API. Now there are two paths, pretty much the most important. So we have one over there, which is the get catalog this date items, and it searches catalog items. So you have different operations. The operation search catalog items, and just a short description here. What Amazon gives us is search for and return a list of Amazon catalog items and associated information either by ID or by a keyword. You see here the rates. Per second you can do 5, and the burst is 5. There are a lot of different arguments that you can pass here. So like, included data, local, seller ID, keywords, brand names, and much more. Then the second one is here. This is the get a catalog item operation. So it retrieves details for an item in the Amazon catalog. So pretty much this is the detailed information about the ASIN. Now, when it comes to the Postman collection, here, as you know, we have this Postman collection that we've already covered. I have prepared this catalog items API for you over there with different operations. So, for example, here you have the search catalog items endpoint, and you can pretty much do it by keywords, by identifiers, by SKU, by brand name, by classification ID, and by seller ID. So as you see, there are different ways of retrieve those catalog items. And you can pretty much use it there. Try a couple of different operations, but we will be actually doing a use case using Python just in a moment. And then for the get catalog item, it's very basic. You just provide it over there. All right, so let's start building our integrations and different use cases. So first one will be actually the pagination example. What we'll do is we will read the credentials, obviously. We'll send a request to find keywords on actually German marketplace, but you can find different keywords in different marketplaces. I'll be using competing in the age of AI keyword just to verify it. We'll be getting first 5 results of this response and pushing them to the array called items information, and then I will be paginating over those results, adding them to the array, and then there won't be any more so-called next token will stop, and then we'll print all of the page results. So number of needed pages, length of the items info, and authors of the book. So let's start coding. Let's maybe start building by creating the Python environment. All right, that's our Python environment. Now source VM been activated. Now, very important thing is there is this repository, and pretty much it's being constantly updated. By the time watching, it might have a little bit changes, but the concept is general. Now, what I will be showing you here is very similar, but might be slightly different. But what I want you to do is follow this video. And of course, if you at some point got stuck or something, go to this repository and search for the answers. Because what we'll be doing is we'll be actually going over in detail each of the files that I've prepared for you here. So just for your information, if you are stuck, go to this repository and copy the code pretty much, right? But the biggest value that you will get from this course is really by coding together with me and understand this in detail. All right, so very important thing is that we'll need from the beginning is something from the later modules. What is this rate limiter? So there's a lesson just about the rate limiter, where I'll be just going in the depth here for the token bucket algorithm, for the rate limits in the Amazon. However, I believe that there's no need to have it right away. I mean, overall, of course, you need it
So if you feel like you prefer to understand it first, go and watch the lesson about the rate limiter. However, if you just want to get information about the catalog items API at this point, we'll be just copying this code. So we'll need this directory common. Let's just make sure to copy the whole thing into our repository. So I'll just make sure to copy it here. So I have it over there. I have my repository over there, and I'll be just copying it here. Next thing that I can copy is requirements.txt. You don't need to really do it. We can also install it, but to be fair, I'm right now thinking loudly. It'll be easier to copy it and now installing all of the dependencies right away. So if we are starting right away, we have common, we have .vnv, which is our virtual environment, and those requirements. So now let's install it. This option to install all of them at once, like that. Now let me update my pip as well. Okay, now if we just do pip freeze, we'll get all of the requirements over there. The most important one is, of course, the Python Amazon SP API, and then we might need some of them as well. All right, now what we're gonna do is let's create .env file, right? Now, .env file, those are our credentials that we'll be using. So I'll just include my credentials right now. Please make sure to include your credentials that you will be using. I'll save it and close it. And now let's create this directory. So catalog items API, let's get there. Now let's do search catalog items. Okay, let's get there. This is our search catalog items. Now let's create init file. This is something that we pretty much need in order to properly use files in a, like Python files in the directories. And now let's create this script that we'll be using. So pagination example. All right, we have it. Let's go back to the main directory. If you're not familiar with those basic movement of the terminal, no problem. You can also just create it manually. That both ways, right? I mean, just want to show you our folder structure over there. All right, so we have our pagination example. Now let's just print test. Let's open Python terminal. Now, as you remember, we need to set our Python environment. So, okay, so first let's try to run it. Catalog items API, search catalog items, and pagination example. All right, it actually works. So if it doesn't work for you, because maybe you are using Visual Studio Code or something, you need to set the Python environment variable. So if we just go back to our video about setting up the Python environment, if we go back to the lesson about the Python snippets, there's this point number 6, set environment variable, which should be here, right? So the export Python path, and then obviously here you need to put your Python path to your directory. This is the directory. So if you're in this directory, you can also type pwd. In my case, is user Jacob projects Amazon course. At your case might be different. All right, I mean, it depends where you've located it. So let's start by importing all of the necessary things. So we need those, rate limiter. Now let's import the environment variables. All right, we got it over there. Let's import credentials. All right. Just put test again, just to make sure that everything is fine. So Python catalog items API, search catalog items, pagination example. All right, so actually we got a little bit of a problem because it doesn't see this common over there because of those imports over there. So we need to set this Python environment together. Actually, I thought that I won't need it, but actually I need it. So let's just do it like this. Okay, so we have it over there. It's like that. Let's copy it, paste it over there. Now it should be good. So let's try again. Python. Okay, and now it works. So as you see, this is how we solve it. Probably this will be the issue asked by multiple people in the comments. So I just want to make sure that we're on the same page here. Great. So we have the basics. We have our fundamentals. Now we can just focus on the actual catalog items. One thing that we need to start with is to go here, and unfortunately, if you haven't watched the video about rate limits, you just need to trust me on here. Otherwise, go watch it. But what we need to do is we need to get those variables. So the rate limits, request per second and burst, those both 5s. We need to just, for now, get them here, because this means we can do 5 requests per second with the burst of 5. So we can do also 5 at the same time, kind of. This will be needed for us to create our rate limiter. So this is our rate limiter. For now, you don't need to worry about this. Just trust me on that. We just need to make import it to make proper requests. And again, if you are fascinated, if you're curious, right away, go watch this video about the rate limiter. All right, competing in the age of AI. Those are our keywords to find. Now, what I mean by that? Let's go to Amazon to find out. As I mentioned, I will be using Amazon DE for this example. So if you go to the catalog, you have this competing in the age of AI. So those are the results, right? Those are the results of the first page. And we'll be iterating over this catalog for the next few pages till we can, right? So as you see here, second page, third page, fourth page. And that's it. We don't have more pages, okay? That's very important. So let's keep it in mind. So first thing is we are going to import catalog items API. For this, we are going to use the library that I showed you. So you can pretty much just import this client over there. And now I want to show you the actual response before we continue. So this one we can actually optimize. So we can do, okay, like that. So the keywords defined, those are our keyword. It's a list over there. Page size, that's it. Let's see what we get from this response. So what I will do is I'll actually run my Python debugger just to show you. So I'll maybe put it all into one function. This is just for the sake of this video, and this repository is a little bit different. I'll just do it like this, so we can run our interpreter. Okay, so let's run debug pagination. Okay, I'm getting some errors, but those are not really important. Like not maybe errors, but like something from debugger, but it actually doesn't matter because it works. And I just want to show you something. So what I did is just I run the whole script. I got my credentials over there. Obviously, I'll hide them. Then I've got my rate limiter, keywords, everything right here. Yeah, I got the API instance. I search catalog items. And the most important thing is pretty much the response that I got. So let's go to the response. Just put it like that. And now what I got is I got the payload. So I got 20 results. And I got next tokens, next pages. So 20 results from each page. I get these refinements, which are brands. I got the items. I got the attributes for each item. So as you see here, I got a lot of different attributes, all of the details about these catalog items. Yeah, so that's one single response, and now we'll be iterating over different pages just to get it. So let's just improve it a little bit. All right, so this is the finest version, and you can actually copy it from the GitHub repository. But what I'm doing is I'm iterating now over those items, over those pages. So here I'm getting the next token. And if I have a next token, I'm sending this request. Actually, my bad here. This is not efficient, so let's just change that. Okay, so I'm actually using my red limiter to send a request to this catalog API, search catalog items, German marketplace, keywords to find, everything as it was, and then I'm extending it, right? And I'm iterating over those. And now let's print all of the results that we have. Let's put it over there. So let's run the whole thing. You can, I mean, I'm using this, but you don't need, you can just type Python and run the script. Let me show you. So I'm doing the request as you saw. And yeah, so what I did is result page, I have 5, so I limited them over there. I've number of pages needed 4. Books having chosen title over there. And here you have authors of the books. And you can check different authors of those books, which gave us in total 20 different books. Now let's change it. Maybe let's change it to 10. And let's rerun it. All right, so pretty much I've done a couple of more tests just to verify. I also spoke with my developers, and the results are actually fascinating. So pretty much the result that you get from the API, they are not 100% equal to what you get from the Amazon search here. As you see here, you have 63 different results here. This is because there are also ads over there and some recommendations, additional recommendations by Amazon. And pretty much, yeah, we just found only 20 books here that has this particular keyword. So those results from the API and from the Amazon side, they varies because what Amazon returns to you is a little bit different. It is a little bit different factors and additional information. And we'll be exploring those later also in this course. I just wanted to let you know that if you're going to use search catalog items API, you'll have different results than this Amazon search. However, they are all like accurate, right? I mean, this is the source of truth. And those are the results that you'll get for this particular keyword. So that was the pagination example, pretty much from the search catalog items. And one more thing, the last one is the page size. You can put maximum 20 here. So if you put 25, for example, this will break your code. So the next use case is to calculate average product's weight. So now let's calculate the average weight of the product. So what we'll do is we will send a request to find Asian magnesium glycinol spray, which is over there. I'll show it to you. There it is. So this is what is this. And we'll be calculating the parameters of that at the average weight of this item. So we can retrieve it from the attributes and calculate like what's the average weight of those bottles, of those items that are being sold. So we'll get the first 20 results and push them then to the array. Then we'll paginate over the results. Also, we'll stop the pagination when there's no next token. And for each product in the array, we'll actually recalculate the weight to grams. Or if there's no weight, then of course we won't be calculating such a product. And then in the end, with the script will calculate the average weight of those products. Let me do it step by step. So the first one is we'll be just importing libraries. So we need the catalog items. Then I'll import the weight to grams. So this is the function which is gathering the information and then it's calculating. So if the unit is kilograms, it's calculated by 1,000. If it's ounce, this is it, pounds and milligrams, and we are returning it. Now let's do the trick with a main. So I'll do that. Okay, so let's do the first few things. So first, let's read here, rate limiter, load our environment credentials, store it over there, put the next token to none, and let's get those two variables. So keywords to find, this is it, and product weight with units. So this is how we will do that. We'll first go and create catalog items object with those credentials. We'll get the response using search catalog items request with the keywords to find, which are here. Page size 20. This is the maximum page size, by the way, and included data attributes. And this is very simple iteration over there. So We'll retrieve the next token if it's there, and then we'll iterate over that. Now here, we'll be iterating over the items weight. Okay, this is where we retrieve it. There might be the case that we don't have exactly this, but we have the item package weight. So in those cases, we will pretty much need to handle those cases. Then we will add it to the list. And yeah, here we just iterating of a next item and doing exactly the same thing. I could put it to as a function actually. I know that this is redundant, but it's fine for this purpose. Yeah, and then there's the exception. And now the last thing is pretty much to just go here and pretty much iterate and just cover all of the items that has the weight. Otherwise, if it's none, we are skipping it. And then here we are calculating the whole list weight to grams, and we are appending it over there. And in the end, we should get the sum, number of products, and the average. So let's do that. Let me just double check my current credentials. As I mentioned, we want to use the German one. Okay, we have my German credentials. So let's run it. Okay, seems like this is the sum of all of the weights. We got 36 items, and then the average is here. So that's the average item size and this is in grams, of course, because if the unit is grams, we are retrieving it, and then here we are double checking basically and calculating from all the others. So yeah, this is the average item size, which is 378 grams, and this is really reasonable. If you think about like the bottle that you saw, this could be really the case, right? If you would see here some crazy number, like a few thousand, then obviously this wouldn't work. But for those 36 products, this is really reasonable case, and that will be it for the calculation of average weight. All right, so right now we will be discussing more details about the actual details of those products. Before we are doing with the catalog search, now about the details. So what I want to do is I want to check all of the variations of this product. Here, I want to check how many of them there are. So let's check this ASIN out. Let's print out all of the available colors. Let's go here. Let's go now. Let's create one more directory here called get catalog item. We need to create this init and file. All right, let's get it. So let's import all of the variables first, libraries and so on. Now what we do, let's get those also ready. Okay, let's do it like this. Rate limiter is the same. Now for the color, again, we'll be checking this one. I just want to make sure this is actually US marketplace. So this is very important. And we are changing the marketplace right now for the US one. Let's put our ASIN, page size, item colors. Now let's do the request as we were doing. So we are getting the catalog items API with the US marketplace. We're getting the catalog item detail, and we're getting the response here. We're including the relationships and summaries. Now let's get the detail. So what we need is we need to get the parent item first. From the parent ASIN, we need to get the child ASINs. As you see here, the different options, different variations. So let's do that. Let's get the parent ASIN. In order to get parent ASIN, you need to get the relationships and to get it as it is here. So let me maybe show it to you here. Let's do it as usually. I'll just create a function. All right, let's get it here. I can just let's just do print parent ASIN. Okay, let's just debug it over there and run it. Okay, so let's open our debugger over there and let's get to the response first. So just for you to know, this is the parent ASIN. If you want to actually, we can check it. This is the parent ASIN, as you see. This would be a child ASIN. Now, how to get it is again, go to response, payload, relationships, and here you can get all of the relationships here. This is how you get the parent ASINs, right? It is a different variation here. A different variation theme, and so you have all of the details about those items. All right, we got our parent ASIN. Now let's get all of the variations, all child ASINs of the parent ASIN. Let's do it here. So what we do is we're doing the same request. However, right now we are actually putting this parent ASIN and we are requesting all of the children, so child ASINs. Now the next step is to iterate. So what we want to do is we want to iterate over child ASINs. Here, just my mistake, sorry. So we're getting this ASIN, right? Just child ASIN, and we're getting all of the payloads over there. So all of the colors. So we want to get the parent ASIN and all of the children, and then iterate for all of them on this tree of items, right? And get all of the colors. So let's run everything actually. Let me do the following. Just do try over there. Just in case it's over there. Let's print all of the colors. So let's run it. We're doing a couple of requests over there because we are checking all of the details for all of the ASINs. And this is what we got. We got 10 different colors. Blue, dinosaur, gray, green, pink unicorn, purple, rainbow, smiling crocodile, grassy green, verified green, which is 10, which is very interesting because if we actually go here, we may see not all of them available, right? So we see 4, 5, 6, 7 over there. We don't necessarily see everything that we've printed here, which is very fascinating. I'm not gonna go into the details on the Amazon sellers, what are the tricks that they do, but I just know that there's a lot of tricks that you can do with the different variations of the items to boost your reviews, boost your product page rating. So through the API, I just wanted to show you what it actually gives you. And again, this is next example of the response from the API was on the actual backend of the Amazon, and what's the difference over there on the actual front of the Amazon. And I want to show you a last example to check product sales rank, which is very actually, I would say, popular feature of different SaaS applications. So let's do that. Create here, check sales rank, py. Okay, let's copy all of the necessary information from here. Just so you know, what we'll be doing is we'll send a request for this product. Probably a lot of you know it, Atomic Habits. We'll send a request to get information about the product sales rank. And for each sales rank, it gets the rank value and the category, and it prints the results to the console. So we'll see the product sales rank for different categories for Atomic Habits, which I think it's very interesting case. So let's do this, which if you actually go here, this is the information from here. Bestsellers rank, right? I believe. So let's actually check it now if it's actually the same. Let me actually load it. I'll just do main for the sake of this. Okay, we got our Atomic Habits ASIN over there. Now the code is very simple, so I'll just put it over there and print it, and I'll describe what it does. So yeah, just here, I don't know, I have those mistakes that I've done. Sorry for them. And yeah, we need to create like a class for sales rank. So let's do that. I'll just put it over there. This is just like the class that I hold all of the values from. So like the rank and category, and I can print it very nicely. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm doing the call for the catalog items here to get the API. Then I'm sending the request, of course, using the rate limiter, but I don't have to since there will be just one request. But for the good practice, it's actually good to use the rate limiter. I'm doing this get catalog item, and I'm just reading different variables, right? So I'm actually checking the sales rank and the classification ranks. I'm iterating over it, and I'm just printing it in the end. So let's do this. And yeah, this is the response that we got. So it seems like it got #1 rank in those 3 categories. And again, let's go here. It's very interesting because we see it that's true. Personal success, right? It's there. Business, organizational behavior. But for some reason, for example, we don't see it here. And Audible and books. And now, why is it like that? Personally, I think it might be from different API, but I'm not 100% sure. But this is just, again, another example of like, hey, what you see here, what you see in the SP API, this is not like fully matching. Some of the things might come from different APIs to get like all of the requests. So that's why sometimes it's quite actually popular that there are a lot of scrapers that actually are selling the data, like those companies that just sell like the data that you can pretty much see on Amazon, because then it's actually easier to rely on it, right, than from the actual backend of the Amazon SP API. So there are different use cases. That would be pretty much the catalog items API in a nutshell. I think we've covered quite a few examples. If you actually followed through all of those iPhone examples, I'm pretty sure now you're familiar with this API and you can actually do a couple of your own experiments.
Alright, that was it for this video. Again, the full course is available at courses.deltalogic.com, and if you ever need help with the custom software development, if you want to build your tool, go to our website deltalogic.com and submit the form. Thanks a lot, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.